The Jedi Council, guardians and peacekeepers of the galaxy. Godzilla, the bastard spawn of the hydrogen bomb. But allow me to pose the question, could these skilled warriors keep us safe from a kaiju? Today, I will specifically be using the Jedi Council in Revenge of the Sith and late Clone Wars, and the original 1954 Godzilla. As most Godzillas after the original movie get these crazy Super Saiyan-esque power-ups that are unexplained. So strap in and enjoy the video. Based on size, weight, and height alone, most kaiju, including Godzilla, are building level in attack potency. And that's just the bare minimum physically. Godzilla threw an electric tower which can weigh up to hundreds of tons. At least it appeared to be an electric tower. Take it with a grain of salt, as I could not really make it out due to the quality of the film, though I believe this to be consistent with Godzilla's strength, as he can tip over trains casually and break through electric fences later in the movie. But Godzilla's main feat of strength is when he lifts and tips over a bridge that should weigh about his weight and then some by about 5,000 tons. I may be getting that math wrong and a lot of math in this video wrong. I am not a math guy. I know it's a big part of power scaling, but it's not really my thing. However, just based on the laws of nature and the feats shown in the movie, Godzilla should be able to deadlift his own weight, which is 20,000 metric tons, by the way. If you want a more precise look at Godzilla scaling, I would recommend this guy's channel. He clearly puts a lot of effort into his videos, so go give him some love. Godzilla has also taken large boats down, more specifically a 7,500-ton freighter from what I have in my notes. Even before Godzilla became Godzilla, he took and survived the hydrogen bomb, so I would put his durability at beyond city level to some extent. Also, later in the movie, people imply that a nuclear bomb would do nothing to Godzilla. So if traditional lightsaber strikes wouldn't work on Godzilla, this would force the Jedi into a scenario where they have to use their force power, essentially terminating over half the Jedi's arsenal. And despite the Jedi being able to lift things that weigh multiple tons with their force ability, I don't think there's anything that they could traditionally throw at Godzilla to take him off guard. However, Ayla Secura and Yoda have been shown able to climb up kaiju-sized characters like the Zelo Beast. This could possibly leave an opening where they attack one of Godzilla's weak points like the inside of his mouth or his eyes. However, yet again, Godzilla has a somewhat counter to this. Godzilla can react to jets that are almost the speed of sound. So there is the possibility that he would swat them off before they could do any real damage. However, as another counter to this in the Jedi's favor, I do think Yoda is crafty, fast, and skilled enough to get around this and land something significant. And yes, Godzilla did essentially defeat an army in his movie. However, you can argue the higher level Jedi Council members are each their own army. So points in Godzilla's favor, he is the physically dominating force in this battle. He is also resistant to lightsaber strikes in the traditional sense. Points in the Jedi Council's favor would be they're much more skilled and intelligent, they have better coordination, and they could use team attacks to possibly tip over Godzilla. But what's my opinion? You can highball the Jedi to town and city level all you want, but you know that wasn't the narrative intent. And we've seen how the Jedi do against kaiju previously. In their battle with the Zelo Beast, they were losing, and they had help from the Grand Army of the Republic. So personally, I don't believe that they could overcome Godzilla's physical stats, and I think Godzilla would win, though it would be a hard-fought battle. But what do y'all think, and what versus matchups would you like to see next? Bye!